Hello, this is Sarah Braasch. Welcome back to my channel. So I just wanted to do a video about how I am not at all surprised that Yale feted George Takei recently, George Takei of Star Trek fame. And I'm not at all shocked, not surprised in the least that they did this. So he was actually feted on Yale's campus proper, and then also he was feted, I guess, at the Omni Hotel, which is just next to Yale's campus, and given a Visionary Leadership Award in part by Yale. And I'm not surprised about this in the least. I mean, I guess as long as you consider helping to destroy the Living While Black movement by pushing race and hate crime hoaxes, especially those that took place on elite college campuses, like the Living or Napping While Black hate crime hoax at Yale, then yeah, I guess that could be considered visionary and leadership of one sort or another. So George Takei created this really farcical podcast, and the purpose of which seems to be to destroy the Living While Black movement by pushing race and hate crime hoaxes, especially those which took place on elite college campuses. So, I guess that's visionary leadership if you don't mind destroying the life and career and endangering the life of an entirely innocent and lifelong human and civil rights licensed attorney activist, namely me. And this was he debuted this farce of a podcast. I believe it was in August. It was in August or September 2019. The Living or Napping While Black hate crime hoax culminated on May 8th, 2018, and the truth was out by then. The truth was out by then. I had my YouTube channel up and running. Kathy Young had already published her piece in The Bulwark. I had my blog up and running. I was going strong on Twitter at that point. It was very clear that this had been a hate crime hoax and that I was the entirely innocent victim thereof. Moreover, even if for some ridiculous reason George Takei had not been aware that the Living or Napping While Black incident at Yale University was a hate crime hoax, and I was the entirely innocent victim thereof, who was suicidal for over a year, is still suicidal sometimes, who has been in hiding since May 8, 2018, more or less. Even now, I consider myself to still more or less be in hiding. And even if for some reason he was completely unaware of that, he was more than made aware of those facts after he released this farce of a podcast, the first episode of which was trashing and bashing me and participating in the global vilification and defamation campaign against me that quite frankly almost got me killed, almost drove me to suicide, almost incited my murder, destroyed my lifelong human and civil rights, academic and legal careers. So, of course Yale gave George Takei an award for this. Of course Yale feted George Takei for perpetuating and propagating the global vilification and defamation campaign against me, explicitly and specifically to destroy me. Of course they did this. And I know I do get some pushback on this point, but I will not stop saying this because I absolutely know it's true. You have no idea how many people participated in the global vilification campaign against me to destroy me in 2018 and 2019, who were subsequently given awards and honors and paid positions at Yale for having done so, for having defamed me, for having helped destroy my life and career. And given these awards and honors and paid positions in a lot of cases, in most cases maybe even, specifically by Yale President Peter Salovey. The list is long, so long. And just to name a few names right off the top of my head, Roxane Gay defamed me in the New York Times and on Twitter. And then subsequently, when I asked her to educate herself about the truth about the living or napping while black hate crime hoax at Yale by watching my YouTube videos, she blocked me, continued defaming me behind a block, stigmatized mental illness, cast me as a psychotic, a violent psychotic that was a danger to her, who was a threat to her. She tried to pretend I was some kind of threat. And she said that she was going to report me to Yale and report me to the Yale campus police and report me to the New Haven police. She was awarded a visiting professorship by Yale President Peter Salovey immediately thereafter. And she absolutely, even if she wants to try to claim that she didn't know that I was the entirely innocent victim of the living or napping while black hate crime hoax at Yale University, she should have known. She had every reason to know that this was the case. She knows basically everyone whom I know in academia. She could have called, my advisor, Jason Stanley. I know she knows him. She could have called him and said, what's going up? What's going down? Is what's true about this? And he would have told her. He would have told her. He would have been happy to tell her. Anyway, and then also there's a sociology professor, Elijah Anderson, and at Yale, and he writes about the policing of black and brown bodies in white space. And he basically had an absolute heyday in 2018, bashing and trashing me around the world in every publication he could get into. And he was awarded a Sterling Professorship by Yale President Peter Salovey, which is the highest honor that a Yale professor can receive, and it includes a not insignificant monetary award. And does anyone actually believe that he would have received that Sterling Professorship had he not spent all of 2018 bashing me? And he included me in an essay which was supposed to be part of this book he had coming out that was going to be very much about the living while black cases. And I don't believe it's come out. I don't, someone can correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't believe it's come out. And probably because so much of what was in the book, his publishers probably realized was grossly defamatory. So that happened. So anyway, I am not, and like the list goes on. People invited April Ryan, the CNN journalist, bashed and trashed me at Yale after the living or napping while black hate crime hoax. She bashed me in particular at an NAACP meeting that was held in New Haven, and Yale Police Chief Ronell Higgins was in attendance, and she bashed me, smeared me, defamed me at that meeting left and right. She was subsequently feted and honored on Yale's campus by Yale. The list just goes on and on and on. Also, Don Lemon of CNN was feted on campus for bashing and trashing me and destroying my life, helping to destroy my life and career, and for defaming me. The list just goes on and on and on. So I am not at all surprised. That Yale chose to fet and honor George Takei. it was really outstanding, his effort. He was completely unafraid to defame me even after the truth had come out about the Living or Not Being While Black hate crime hoax. So he really went the extra yard to get that Visionary Leadership Award from Yale, in part from Yale. And he really went the extra mile for Yale. He really went the extra mile for the Yale administration in helping to destroy me and my life and my lifelong human and civil rights career, and helping to try to cyberbully me into suicide. So you really have to give George Takei his props. He really strove for that Visionary Leadership Award. He really did. So yeah, I'm not at all surprised that Yale feted George Takei after his efforts on their behalf to help destroy me. So anyway, I'm going to have my PayPal me and GoFundMe links below. So please support me as I continue to fight for justice and fight to restore due process and free speech and all civil liberties on college campuses like Yale and everywhere, and help me to stop the moral outrage industry from getting one more innocent person killed. Okay, I love you all so much. Thank you so much. Have a great night. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.